Welcome into a TWMP Daily. Busy week this week, coming off our show with Senator Hudson, and I'm going to be gone. Aaron Baker's taking over. Bill Eigel will be in here with him on Sunday. But first, we are joined by a crew of Southeast Missourians. I'm joined by Sarah Ezel. Thanks so much for making the time.
Thank you for having us.
And Marcy Lawson. You all are with the city of Sikeston, right? Now, what do you do in Sikeston?
So we do economic development, chamber, and tourism in Sikeston,
Nice.
and then regional economic development with Sarah in New Madrid County, Scott County, and Mississippi County.
It used to be we could all kind of be in our own little silos. I think those days are gone.
They have to be.
The truth is, if it helps Sikeston, it's going to help New Madrid.
That's it.
If something goes right in Mississippi County, it's going to help everybody. Okay. And we have, I was brought to this by our man, Jamie Berger.
Woo woo.
We are, Kelton, are we a month away from our new TWMP Daily studio?
I think that's the timeline.
About a month away, you'll get to see our burgers. We got a bunch of signs to put up. As you can tell, we've ran out of space here. We have to crunch in just to have two guests. When you guys come back, and I don't want to talk a bunch of big game. If you come back in April, you're going to see a totally new studio for this show. It's going to be great. But in the meantime, let's talk Southeast Missouri.
Sure.
I love this. We've got, and I think, there's a time we haven't had a lot of folks in the top spots in state government. I think sometimes the Republican Party takes us very much for granted. But I think Berger is part of a new crop of folks who I think are going to be heard from. I think you got a top-notch senator there. Plus, he's not from Cape, which I like.
Hey, we're not going to say that out loud.
I say it out loud all the time.
Absolutely. No.
Mark Welker, he's not from Cape. You know that.
Senator Berger has been working on behalf of Scott County, our folks, our
Yeah.
people for
My whole professional life.
my
Yeah.
whole professional career. So for him to be in the Senate now is truly, truly incredible, and it's going to give Southeast Missouri a voice that we may not have had recently.
All right, I got to start off thanking the corn growers and the folks at the Missouri
Yes.
Corn Grower Association. Thank you so much, this Stein. I absolutely love it. Katie, in particular, thank you. This is great. You missed it last week. We lit up our neon we're going to have in the new set. But this is a Stein. I'll have to show you the Stein collection. People are very generous to send these in. This is one that was sent to me from the corn growers. Thank you so much.
Love some corn down in
Outstanding.
Southeast Missouri.
No doubt. Is there a prettier crop than corn?
Ooh, cotton.
Cotton is prettier. Cotton's prettier.
Cotton is prettier.
But
Corn is beautiful.
yeah, you
And
get
I
to
love the
try.
smell.
If you drive an hour north of where we're from, you can't grow cotton anymore.
Right.
So I would say the prettiest crop in Missouri is cotton, but it's in that little tiny spot. Overall, though, a cornfield is beautiful.
Corn feels like home.
It just is just pretty.
It is.
Not even the maize, just the green with
Yep.
the corn and
I know.
and the still silked up. I love that. All right, let's do a little promo work here. Kelton, you're going to run this thing with Aaron Baker on Sunday, right?
Correct.
But before Sunday, we have a bigger announcement. Jake Crozen, our man here, is starting his own show. He's going to host his own episode of TWMP Daily. And he got, not that I'm not thrilled to have folks from the city of Sikeston, he got Andrew Bailey. I can't get Andrew Bailey in here.
Nice.
Kelton, did you help him with that? What the hell?
I may have pulled a few strings.
Well, what about, I thought we were boys.
I've been spending a lot of time with Jake lately.
Well, what an ass. Okay. Let's talk Southeast Missouri. I think it's, the truth is, we've seen nothing but population loss. If you look at the totals, Capes has a few good things going with the Procter & Gamble. Sikeston has got in logistics and probably maintained, but I think it's hard to grow. Poplar Bluff has clawed on to maintain. It feels like the first time I can ever see in the history of this country where innovation hasn't drove people off the farm to the cities is rural broadband. It feels like that's the first time you can, if you want to be a Richland rebel, it would be very hard if you didn't inherit a family business, right?
Yeah.
Now you can go raise your kids in Richland, send them to a good school. You're 2 hours and a half from any airport you want to go to, Memphis, St. Louis, and with that, but you gotta have that broadband. If you don't have that rural broadband, you can't make a living.
No, you're absolutely right. And thank God that, Missouri has invested so much in broadband
Yes.
recently. I mean, it really is going to change the landscape of rural Missouri, but Southeast Missouri in particular.
Well, especially the difference in Poplar Bluff, Butler County, half the county is flat as it can be. You could just put something in the ground and you can probably dig down without much effort 3 foot in the ground. Now, the western part of Butler County, where I'm from, is rock,
Yes.
which is very tough. But around Scott County and the Budo, you can lay that fiber, I'm not going to say cheap, but certainly cheaper, and you can put it in the ground,
Yeah,
which is a big advantage.
It really is. And I mean, SEMO Electric's done a great job. They're a cooperative down there about prioritizing and making sure that we have broadband access, and that was huge for COVID. Of course, everybody recognized how important that was. But yeah, when you can work from anywhere and live where you want and do what you want, that's going to be a game changer, I think, for rural Missouri.
All right, let's go through the list here.
Yeah.
I want to start at the bottom. We'll start at the Sikeston Career Technology Center. You know, I saw people, Mike Parsons at Workforce Development, and it was funny, I saw some right-wing people give him a little grief about it. And I'm like, you don't own a business, do you? I mean, if you own a business, you're talking about workforce development, places like the Sikeston Career and Technology Center, right?
Totally. And, you know, I heard somebody say before, you know, the other side is recruiting. So the recruitment, when I say that, I mean to not go to work, to do something that's not productive.
Yep.
So we've got to be recruiting just as hard. And where can we capture those kids? It's when they're in the career and tech. They're made to go to school at 8 o'clock. Yep. So let's get them trained, skilled up, and headed into our industries.
All right, the ferry over the Mississippi River in Mississippi County. I knew the ferry still ran. Mm-hmm. Actually, there's a little place in St. John where there's a ferry.
Yeah.
But the way the river moved, it's actually in Illinois. Both parts of the ferry in Illinois. The
Really?
river jumped.
Oh, really?
And it left this island over that's still technically Illinois, but it's on both sides. The ferry, that's cool. I mean, if you've never taken your vehicle across a ferry, the first time you're wondering, is this really going to roll off? But the fifth time you'll be fine. The Port Authority, something very near and dear to my heart. I know there's been a lot of investment in this port. It is a real lifeline out of southeast Missouri for agriculture.
Totally. I'm going to let Sarah speak a little bit to
yes,
that.
it's that second slack water harbor that they're really pushing for. We're really trying to make sure that we get some funding in place for that, because with that, we've already got 2 possible tenants who may be on board. So if we can just get it funded and get it taken care of, we're moving in the right direction.
You know, I'll always believe that forces beyond what even the state of Missouri could control forcing Aranda out. But I think there's still some bones there that could be used.
Absolutely.
And to me, the hook is the port, right? That's the real. I mean, obviously, there's millions and millions of dollars spent there for a plant site, but really the special part is access to that river.
It really
That's
is.
the secret sauce.
And it's been done the right way.
Yeah. The rodeo, love the rodeo. If you haven't been to the J.C. Boot Hill Rodeo, you're missing out. Wes Sutton will take you down there anytime you want, and he's Mr. Boot Hill Rodeo. He can show you a good time. Wes is great.
Wes is wonderful.
He's
we saw him last
wonderful.
night and today.
He's now a Wardsvillian. Him and Hannah and I guess 1 and maybe 2 coming up. There is so the Boot Hill. Who was last year's big headliner?
Oh, put me on the spot. Who was last
Who's
year's
the
big
big-
headliner? I don't know.
I've heard Kenny Rogers there. It was great.
Kenny Rogers was there and kicked off the whole thing. Kenny
Amazing.
Rogers Children's Center. I'll tell you what. I'll age myself because I can't, off the top of my head, tell you the entertainers because they are, targeted at kind of a younger crowd a little bit. So
A couple years ago it was Nelly, right?
Yeah.
Nelly was amazing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what's so cool is because I've gotten older, it's my own fault, and not watching those entertainers quite as much, I have learned to thoroughly enjoy the rodeo for the rodeo. We have top-notch cowboys and cowgirls that are coming there. I mean, I'm talking, these are the people who are roping and riding in nationals in Las Vegas.
Yes.
So we've really strengthened the actual rodeo part of the rodeo. And then, you watch it through your kiddo's eyes and it's completely different.
Oh, my daughter
But,
loves it.
I mean, my son has his hat off. He's getting signatures, all the bullfighters. It's so much fun.
Millie has bought a new pair of cowboy boots for every year.
Yes.
Well,
that's
gotta
what you
have-
have to do.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
I'm not sure the second time of the year they're worn, but I know the one time that they're bought for
That's
is like
okay.
That's right.
40,000 folks come.
They do.
I totally
They do.
believe that. I've been
Absolutely.
there. If I had to guess, I'd take it's a little higher than that if you really just broke it down.
Well, I mean, it's $8 million worth of economic impact every single year. I mean, rural towns would kill for that.
Yes.
And we've got it in our backyard with a group of, young volunteer gentlemen that are the Sikeston JCs. They give all of the proceeds back to the community. So
I
it's
think
really
it matters.
incredible.
If you're at the hospital trying to recruit a doctor to come to Sikeston,
It does.
what a terrific place to take them to that. That's right there in town.
That's it.
I mean, you can get to Memphis quick. You can get to St. Louis pretty quick from Sikeston. That's a great thing about Sikeston and the crossroads it is. We'll get to that in a second. But I just think it's got to help to recruit professionals when you can take them to the rodeo and then you take them to Lambert's, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm a Lambert's guy. I like Lambert's.
100%.
Rose.
Okay, you got to ask me. I got to ask you.
Okay.
Living in Sikeston, how many times a year do you go to Lambert's? Probably
Whenever
not
someone
as
like
much
you
as
comes
you
to
think,
town.
right? Yeah, when somebody else comes to town, you take them to Lambert's. That's what I would
That's
think
right.
too. You almost, because it's right there,
Right.
and it's always so crowded.
Right.
I'd be the same way.
Hey,
no
we've
doubt.
got our hospitality luncheon coming up, so we'll all be there next month, right? Next
Love it.
month, yeah, March 6th. So we'll be there Lambert's is such a tourism asset, so we have
Yes.
our tourism luncheon there and honor, other businesses that are tourism related and all of that. You don't think about rural tourism all the time, but that is exactly what Lambert's is. It's exactly what the rodeo is. So we've got a new hot air balloon festival, and that just gets people coming into town. It's all economic development at the end of the day because they're spending money helping us improve our roads.
I needed a hot air balloon this weekend. I went to the Super Bowl and had a blast, except for the actual game, which
Yes.
was not great at all. Kelton told me the Chiefs were going to cover no problem. That did not happen.
No.
I think we all thought that.
Yeah, from the kickoff, it was just not pretty.
No.
But I'd never been to the Super Bowl before, so it was a ton
That's
of fun.
awesome.
It was really cool.
What an environment. And
Yeah.
in New Orleans, come on.
Yeah.
You can't have a bad time.
Yeah.
No.
Got off
No.
the plane, and it was like 75 degrees. I'm like, this is so wonderful.
Yes.
And because I'm lazy and derelict, we'll also be going this week. So enjoy Baker. Bill, I wonder what Bill's going to talk. Bill Eigel. I've always said, Bill, if he won one of these leadership spots, you'd have seen a different guy. I actually think him going and being the running for St. Charles County executive is going to be interesting, and kind of hear his thoughts on. He ran for state party chair, and came a little short to another Southeast Missourian, Peter Kinder. It'll be interesting to hear what Bill says about that. And Aaron will do a great job. It'll be a lot of fun. It probably won't. And then I saw, Kelton, did I see Bailey suing Starbucks?
No.
It's going to shut that down.
I just saw that.
God, that'd be great. That'd be amazing. I have to go get Casey coffee sometimes, and the line is awful. And when I walk in, the people just hate me.
Oh.
I think it's because they know I hate them. I think I just exude that I don't like. If you color your hair like purple, it's just not my thing. So if Bailey could shut that down, that'd be outstanding. We've been spotted by Cinder Bean.
Oh no.
I'm just
He's
gonna
watching.
look. I'm just gonna Cinder. I'm just gonna live here on TV
no.
tell you the one person to blame for that is right here. I'm my bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, we'll make sure that you have a Senator Bean
Bean.
poster
Yeah.
for your new office.
We
next
do
time
need
you
Senator.
come.
What? Yeah. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Everybody else
Yeah.
gave me one, but my own senator.
No,
didn't
we
even
got
give
it.
me
We
one.
got you. We got
Yeah.
you.
All right, so let's talk about the thing that's close to my heart, I-57, which is a connection of Highway 60 and 67, which runs through my old hometown of Poplar Bluff. And it has, gosh, I'm trying to think. There was, what was it? Oh, now he's responding. I always think it's such a big deal. And while he's watching, Cinder Bean, thank you very much. He helped along with Cinder
Absolutely.
Huff.
Fantastic.
Finish so it'll be totally 4-laned all the way to the Arkansas line.
Yes.
And
Huge.
the loop, I think what I was told was it'll be interstate grade from the Arkansas line now, set in motion. I don't know, it probably takes a year or two to build.
Sure.
Looped all the way around Poplar Bluff, and then out west, I think they start having at grade crossings somewhere west of Lake Wapapella at T Highway
Sure.
Road. I had an
Yeah.
ex-wife lived up T Highway once, so I know right where it is. Senator Bean's actually on the dais presiding while but once you get done presiding over the Senate, sir, could you send a sign over? I mean, seriously, we have a bigger studio. So then it goes I'm just thinking as I drive. I just drove 60 2 weekends ago, so if I can recall, it's all interstate grade, no crossings that aren't an exit through T Highway, and then I think. I think that's the one that takes you to the airport, would take you as T Highway.
Okay.
Then you have one at Fisk, and then you have another one right there at Puxico.
Right.
Maybe you could line those up. Is that possible?
To be honest, don't know that far.
But I mean,
west
those are
yet.
those are really
Makes
close.
sense.
Yeah.
Puxico,
Yep.
Puxico and Fisk, the intersections, they're not a mile apart. So I wonder if they just save money.
Sure.
Why would you have two
Do
exits,
something-
right? That makes sense.
There's
to
going
me.
to have to be some kind of collaboration,
Yeah.
coordination, give and take with this whole thing. The same way that Poplar Bluff has done so well in building out 67 and taking ownership of doing that. It's not necessarily in the city; it's in the county. So there's going to have to be some give and take from everyone, and I'm sure that's going to be one of them.
It seems to me like if you're Puxico and you're Fisk, and you could have the interstate run 6-7 miles south Puxico and right through Fisk. You figure out how to agree
figure
on
it
where
out.
to put
That's right.
the exit one spot or the other. And I would assume Puxico wouldn't care because, they're, however you get there, you're still 6-7 miles from Puxico anyway.
Sure.
So then you go on over, Dudley, I guess, has a crossing, an exit. But I guess there's another at-grade crossing there. Then you got the railroad coming in somewhere in there. Is that above ground yet?
Which,
No.
where?
No.
There's a railroad crossing, if I
there
recall.
is a railroad crossing.
And then they get you on over to Morehouse.
Before Morehouse.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
it's right before
That's right.
Morehouse.
Sorry, I'm like, where are
Then
we?
a little bit around Sykes. I saw there's a new gas station on the south side of 60.
That's right.
Yes.
That probably going to have access to that somehow. Then once you get to 55, it's pretty good, right? It's
is,
interstate
yeah.
quality
Well, yeah.
all the way to the river.
At 55, it becomes 57 already.
Yeah.
So you're good, Charleston, all the way up. So
Now, I don't know that maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is to call it an interstate, it has to start either at another interstate or a major city, and it's got to end at one. So right now, 57 ends at Chicago, maybe somewhere.
it's Chicago.
It certainly connects to that big city. It comes down and hits 55.
That's right.
In order to connect, it's going to have to, in order to be officially designated 57,
Right.
it's got to have the full connection to Little Rock, right?
Little Rock
Yes.
and then to Dallas.
Dallas.
But I mean, Little Rock's big enough.
Big-
An
it is.
interstate
It
can
should
end
be,
in Little
yes.
Rock. But that's really everything before they change the signs and officially mark it as that, and the speed limit, I guess, doesn't go up. But they don't change the signs and officially designate that to travelers as 57 until the whole thing is done, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
We've got the designation of future 57, so we've
Yeah.
put some signs up on that.
I thought that's awesome.
But I think it has to be all the way completed, all the at-grade, all of it up to interstate
Yeah.
standards before it can actually be 57.
I think those signs though are a big deal.
They are.
I
big
think
deal.
it. I think
They
it makes
are.
people that they don't watch this show. They're living their lives. I think they do see that and like, oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then they Google it and they're like, oh, this would
Yep.
be cool. I just think there's a that I think that gives people a shared goal.
That's
you know.
exactly what I was going to say. It lets everyone know, hey, this is our priority.
Yeah.
This is going to happen. This is what we're going to focus on. We know our folks up here are focused on it. So I think it gives everybody a little more hope. And like, yes, this is going to happen, and we're all going to come together and make it happen.
And that feels right.
Feels- absolutely.
It is, for a
Makes
long
sense.
time, I remember there. You had your SEMO Three Rivers fight that most people working didn't even know about, but everybody in your jobs had to. You had to deal with it, right? And that feels like that's been at least come to some sort of end.
Sure.
Like I don't know all the details, but it seems like there's some harmony there. And you need Three Rivers, and you need SEMO.
That's it.
Both
That's it.
doing
Yep.
well. That River Campus seems to just do extremely well for SEMO. Everything they
beautiful.
put around that just works. I remember for a long time they fought about where this would come over. Would you? And you just couldn't. You can't deal with Illinois, right?
I've not tried hard, but not that I know of.
I had somebody here trying to say we should do our electric like Illinois. I don't think we should do anything like Illinois. I've not seen anything Illinois does, and I'm like, oh, we should do it like that. I don't know that state runs particularly well. And I never thought you could get anything to that Shawnee National Forest with Illinois people making decisions. I mean, the road was built where it was built, and if you didn't build a road in Illinois by then, good luck to you.
Yeah.
I drove 57. They're doing tons of work.
They are.
Six
Yeah.
laning it in parts and rebuilding parts of it. I bet you from, I don't say Mount Vernon, but I bet the Carbondale exit,
Okay.
what was that,
Yeah.
at Marion,
Yeah.
to the bridge, as much of that's under construction is not under construction.
I would agree with that. We went up there not too long ago, probably last summer, and it was, I felt like one construction zone to
Yep.
another. So I'm glad they're doing work on it. I'm glad they're
Sure.
investing in it.
Yes.
We hope there's more traffic on it in 7, 8, 10 years.
I mean, you tell me in doing economic development, I do think if let's say you're at Prime Trucking right now, shout out to my buddy Thomas. If you're at Prime Trucking today and you're routing your trucks around, you do prefer an interstate to just a 4-lane highway, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, the priority level, I don't know how all goes into that, but it's all computerized. These routes
Sure.
are.
Oh, for
it is
sure.
not like anymore. Like somebody's like, oh, I remember the bad curve there. We're going to go around. It's all data, and to me, that data works so much better if you can literally say the fastest way to get from Dallas to Chicago is to drive right through Parblev and Sykeston. I mean,
That's
that's
right.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And it's. I think it's faster now because you'd have to drive all the. I guess right now you might go to Jonesboro up at Blytheville and over, but
Sure.
but really the truth is I think once it's completed, I mean you'll really move a lot of traffic from other parts of this country
Yep.
Through
to our area, and that's got to help with recruiting a factory or a logistics company. I mean, if you're a logistics company, it's like, is it FedEx in
Ideal.
Sykeston?
There's
FedEx and Sykeston.
Why would you not be, right?
Right.
I mean, it's right there. You can get good, hardworking people.
Yep.
And you're on now, hopefully, 2 interstates.
Right.
Yeah.
Do we have any idea? I've heard the number 8 years for Arkansas. For Missouri to finish, I believe it's like on a 3-year plan to finish the 4-lane
Okay.
all the way down. Do we have any idea when Missouri will have those at-grade crossings fixed and this is an interstate?
No, I don't know that I can say that with any kind of certainty right now. I would hope that they'd want to match Arkansas. I mean, if Arkansas is going to get theirs done in 8, wouldn't it be great if we got ours done in 8? I mean,
I like that. I'm gonna take that.
don't quote me on it.
I'm going to quote you on it. It's too late for that.
You know, but talk about a little bit of, rivalry. Can we do a little rivalry with our, state to the south? Let's say, hey, they're going to get it up. We're going to get it up. I know Senator Bean is working really hard at the federal level to make sure that we've got
And
some
I
other
think-
funding.
Are we due for a new MoDOT commissioner from SEMO?
Yes.
Is ours up in March?
Uh-huh. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's up in March.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
That-
Maybe.
All right, whoever we get, we're going to take him to dinner.
Yes, let's
And be
do
like,
it.
all right,
We'll go to Lambert.
we have a
Lambert's.
lot of priorities here, but these at-grade crossings are
Yeah.
our priorities.
Well, and it really is a safety issue. I mean, when you're talking about why do they want to ride, go down the interstates, it's because you know that you're not going to have stops. You're not going to, have farm equipment going across
Yep.
your interstate or anything like that. So, it is about safety, but it's also about making sure that those logistics folks are coming right
Yep.
through our area. Carlisle Construction Materials, brand new industry. Hopefully you saw that maybe on your way back. It's huge on the side of their building, so you can't miss Carlisle right there at Sykeston. And a factor was the fact that we've got, it designated as a future Interstate 57. That was a game changer. for 'em.
Jonesboro used. Remember they did that spur? It's like whatever 555 or something.
It's been a minute since I've been to Jonesboro.
Well, I was in Jonesboro, and you go through Tyronza there to connect
Okay.
to 55.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
And they designated that as an official spur of 555.
Sure.
But for probably 10 years, they had future 555. If I go down to Jonesboro or to Memphis, from Poplar Bluff,
Yeah.
it's
You can see it.
kind of it's really roughly the same to shoot through Jonesboro or to shoot over
Oh,
on
interesting.
412. You kind of either way. But I would go through Jonesboro a lot, and it was amazing to me to see just the signs. Future 555. I mean, Jonesboro's a growing part of this country. It's a growing
It
community.
is. They're doing great.
And I think part of that is they were able to capitalize on that and tell, well, when you have a doctor fly in, they would say, well,
Yeah.
45 minutes you're down on Bill.
Yep.
And I
Absolutely.
think that matters to
It
people.
does matter.
And just like the rodeo at Lambert's, I think that's got to help you bring people to Sykeston, right?
I think just as you mentioned, broadband changing everything, where people are going to live where they want to live and do the work that they want to do. So it's an interesting, I think, opportunity for rural communities. So we've got to capitalize on both, bringing the jobs so that we have the high quality employment, but also maintaining our high quality of life. And that's what the rodeo does. That's what Lambert's does. That's what the Hot Air Balloon Festival does. And we want to prepare ourselves for growth. We know that when Future 57 becomes Interstate 57, we know we're going to grow. Have no doubt.
Yep.
So we've got to prepare ourselves and be ready for that growth and be active and proactive on it. So that, we're not just waiting for industries to come here. We're not waiting for people to come here. We're not waiting for people to choose not to run to the cities. We're growing it right now as we're building it.
So tell me this.
Yep.
End of the day, it says for Sykeston, is it bigger to try to grab that next big employer, or is it bigger to try to bring in the next 50 people that work from home? And it was so interesting to me. When I was mayor, we did a project of building Highway 67 north, and the growth really wasn't catching those factories that were on their way to Mexico or China and stopping off for 10 years in Poplar Bluff. We all kind of benefited from that. That was economic development
It was.
for a while.
Yeah.
It was.
grabbing stuff from
Yes.
Milwaukee and Chicago, having
Yep.
them stay here while they prep their move to China. Some of them, Bridge and Stratton stayed. Still
Yeah.
there.
Yep. Yeah.
But a lot of them, it was what it was.
Right.
Is it more important now to hunt that big fish factory that's out there? There are fewer and fewer out there. Or is it bigger to provide a great school and a great amenities and great transportation infrastructure and bring in the next 50 people that make $300,000 a year, but they work from home?
Right. So I think you could probably ask 10 people and you get 5 saying one and
right.
5 saying the other.
Yep.
For Sykeston in particular, I think we are focused on the next big win being in our region. doesn't have to necessarily be in Sikeston. It can be in New Madrid, can be in Charleston, can be in Dexter. You know, all of those areas, people are driving to and from anyway.
Yep.
I think it's funny. Sarah drives from New Madrid to Sikeston. My husband drives from Sikeston to New Madrid to work. Everybody just kind of drives around anyway. So that next big fish, I hope, is in the area. Then Sikeston, as being the largest community in that area, can really focus on maybe that secondary, tertiary thought of economic development and getting those folks, building our downtown so it's walkable. We have the amenities, we have the high quality standards that I think some people are looking at when they're looking in the city. That we can have a little piece of it right here, in Sikeston. We have a really great new fine dining restaurant. Those kind of things, building up our downtown, adding in the rodeo museum to celebrate, 70 years of rodeo history.
That's
so
cool.
Bringing those kind of quality of life things so that those people that do want to work from home can. We've got a shared workspace now. We've got,
Oh, really? Where's that at?
it's downtown as well. So it's called Center Street Station.
I was down there eating with Bean and Burger, actually. We were...
Did you go to Kirby's?
we went to Kirby's.
I
Yep.
knew it.
That's where we went.
Kirby's.
Yep, that's where we went.
Yep.
We had a birthday party for Cameron that she didn't show up to.
Oh, no.
She didn't show up at all.
Oh, no.
Cake and everything.
Cameron.
I know. We took pictures.
Did you
with her.
actually send her an invite?
That may have been the
There
problem.
we go. Yeah.
That may have been where the plan fell through.
I was like, Cameron's
We had
Cameron's
too many
around.
people involved that all thought they were the one.
Yeah.
Somebody else was calling, but it was good cake. I will say that. All right, so educate folks watching this. Folks watch this because they like politics. So tell me who we got now. I know we've got Cameron Parker, who
Yes.
is an absolute star. Jamie Berger, who I think is going to be in Senate leadership. Jason Bean is presiding over the dais as we speak. Who replaced Jamie in the State House?
That'd be Judge Dolan, David Dolan.
Isn't he the best?
Oh my gosh! I mean, the best.
Now, I'm
from-
going to tell you, judges go
long
one or
time
two
ago.
ways. I'll be honest. Judges are either great legislators or they're terrible. They're either like arrogant and they're...
No.
Not the
They
case.
go one, and I think he's going to be an absolute stud.
He's going to be incredible. He is not arrogant. He, ruled from the bench very fairly. He's a likable person who wants to continue his career. So he's interested. He wants to build the relationships, do the Jamie Berger things, Senator Bean things, and building the relationships. I think that's what makes the two of them really strong, and he's learning from them.
We also have Donnie Brown, too.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you,
can't miss
I
him.
think Donnie will be a future MoDOT director.
Oh,
I don't-
wouldn't that be lovely?
I
and
don't
perfect
know
timing?
Good at it.
I'll give you a white trash prediction, just simple hillbilly prediction. I don't think Donnie will finish his time in the legislature. I think he impressed people so much when McKenna left that I don't know that we'll keep him for the full time.
Can I write that down? I'll hold you to that.
100%.
Sweet,
We'll put a
that
beer
would
on
be
it right
so
now.
lovely.
I
Let's
am
do
all
it.
in for that. He, Donnie is the guy that the more you work with him, the more you're like, this guy's great.
Yes.
And
We know that.
And I'm a big fan of him, but I think a lot of people became big fans as he worked his way discussing the last open MoDOT directorship. I think he'll start off as leader in the clubhouse. He gets it. Plus,
Yes.
the one thing I would remind MoDOT is you are doing a lot of projects. The most projects MoDOT's probably ever had out at one time.
Yes.
But let's be honest, that's not because of the core gas funding is coming in. That's because the legislature shifted a bunch of general revenue and ARPA money to MoDOT for like I-70 for major projects. I think they'd be wise to remember that legislature, even though they have some independence in funding, is a pretty damn good partner to have. And Donnie would be a very good tie to the legislature.
Absolutely.
Yep. Sure would.
So then, was it Representative Jordan from Stoddard County come in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
Met
a new
him
one,
last night.
and then we'll have a new one in Poplar Bluff when Hardy's done.
Right.
We've got a new one just a little west of town, the northern part of the county. Then Bollinger County, is that?
Bollinger County new rep just came in, I believe.
Oh,
Met him last night as
Brett
well.
Wolflin, yeah.
Yep.
So did y'all have like Sikeston days, or
We a little bit did. Yes,
Nice.
we kind of took over.
Love it.
It's
where do you have Sikeston days at?
we had it at the Marriott, super fancy.
Oh, I got these ladies know. That's a great thing. They are sponsors. United Fiber, some of the best rural broadband in the state up in the Great Northwest, who, by the way, had a very successful Great Northwest Days here last week. And the Courtyard by Marriott. If you're going to come have an event, don't be cheap.
Yeah.
Don't suck. Have it at the Courtyard by Marriott. Make it nice.
They were fabulous.
It was
They were
great.
fabulous.
The
Very
staff
accommodating.
there. It's a terrific
Incredible.
hotel, and it's
is.
new and it's clean and all that. The staff actually acts like they're happy to see you.
They're nice.
are.
Yes.
Absolutely. They were
And-
wonderful to work
They've been
with.
That is not always the case
Right.
in every hotel. When you do an event, it's so nice to have people that want to figure out your problems and want to make it nice so you come back. You're going to come up for the Taste of the South, I assume?
We sure
Yes,
are.
we'll be here.
You
Wouldn't
should
miss
come
it.
up one night earlier on Tuesday night. We are having our Stateswoman of the Year. It is going to be the Chief Justice, Mary Rose Russell, of the Supreme Court. It'll be a very fun time. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be one of our most fun events we've ever had.
I'm going to guess that you have pretty fun events.
We have the funnest events,
The
which is a
best.
low bar in Jeff City, but we do have fun events. Honoring Judge Russell will be great, so we're looking forward to that. So we'll have a good time with that. And then, Kelton, what else we got going on?
We're pretty slow moving around
What
here.
time? So I'm a little pissed about this. What time is Jake's interview with Andrew Bailey?
I believe 3 p.m. on Thursday.
On 3 p.m. Coming up events, coming attractions. Obviously, Taste of the South is the 26th, right?
That's right.
Cinder Bean's Taste of the South and Cinder Burger, I think, is in on it now. Really, Kyle Aubuchon's Taste
There
of
we
the
go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
That's
Really, Kyle
actually-
Aubuchon's Taste of the South. It'll be the great event on Wednesday. That night before, we'll have our event, our Stateswoman of the Year event, with our women legislators auction. Will be the Tuesday night there at Farm Bureau. This Sunday, we'll have Aaron Baker hosting This Week in Missouri Politics with former Senator Bill Eigel. But Thursday, Jake Croson hosting his first show. Bailey didn't come on mine. He's coming on his. Kelt, can you tell Andrew two things? One, I don't appreciate the snub. But two, if he could close the Starbucks at Missouri Boulevard here in 54, I would forgive him totally.
If he could close the 3 in Columbia, it'd save me quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I think every dude is behind him on this. If Bailey needed a dude's support, I think this is it. Now, if you're looking with the purple hair crowd, I don't think they're going to be as happy about this. But I personally support the Attorney General in his endeavor of closing all the Starbucks in Missouri, starting with the one at 54 Missouri Boulevard here in Jeff City. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
I'm serious. Maybe we could do like what I'd love to do is like a rural economic development television show. Bring in some folks from
Yep.
different parts of the
Let's do
state,
it.
and there's no better place. If you're looking for somebody to move, look up Sykeston. I'm serious. Sykeston is a place that is on the front foot. It's aggressive, and going to be at the epicenter of I-57.
Yep.
Thank you all so much. We'll see. I won't see you. Jake and the Attorney General will see you Thursday for This Week in Missouri Politics Daily.